When Tucker started the show, there was a thing he said. He said, well, I never eat on TV. And then he joined Fox and Friends.
Or sleep. I never sleep on TV.
Tucker Carlson made his name by bow ties. It made you famous.
Now with clip-ons.
Tucker, I think you're highly skilled at whatever it is you do.
Exactly, whatever it is I do.
Tucker Carlson in full suit in the dunk tank.
Yep, you see him at night at 8 o'clock Eastern time, and he came from this show.
Right. So
it
Tucker,
all started here.
I'm very excited for your book. It's out. It's called Ship of Fools. But first things first, I've been dying to ask you this. I watched you on CNN in Crossfire, very serious situations. And you know in 4 hours on Fox and Friends, you're serious, you're fun, you're conversational. What did that do for you being in that format? Well, how different was it?
It was like boot camp. It broke down my dignity, and then it rebuilt me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I became a completely different person. I never did a dunk tank on Crossfire. And
which is a shame.
Total shame.
Yeah.
Total shame. I loved it. The one thing I would say, in total sincerity, hardest show to host that's ever been.
Why?
Fox and Friends.
Right.
Because of its duration, the time, and the range of stuff. I mean, you go from talking about the things at the very center of the national conversation to cooking. And it's just the whole range. I mean, it really takes everything you have.
Why did you decide to get rid of the bow ties? Because that was your signature.
Because when you walk through Penn Station with the bow tie, it really is a provocative act. It's like a middle finger around your neck, and people just respond in the most hostile way. And I thought, I don't want to get in a fist fight going to the train. I give up.
Right. Who are the Ship of Fools? Your brand new book. You're talking about the elites, and there's a new category of elites.
Well, I just was obsessed with the question, why did the president get elected? Why did the country elect Donald Trump? I mean, we covered the campaign, watched it carefully, and the explanations I was hearing were insane. Oh, Putin did it. Voters are racist. They voted for... It's like so dumb. And so I spent a year thinking about it, and the answer is because the people in charge, by the way, in both parties to some extent, made a series of really bad decisions, never admitted it, and critically never learned a single thing from it, and instead blamed voters for the problems. And in the end, voters said, you know what? We're going to punish you. You're not listening to us, and we're going to do something so radical that you're going to have to pay attention. We're going to elect someone you didn't expect, Donald Trump. And by the way, what happened? The people in charge completely ignored the lesson, refused to learn anything, and instead continued to attack the voters even more.
Who in particular is in the ship?
Well, I mean, look, I would say the people who made the critical decisions on our foreign policy and our economic policy, and, by the way, our social policy over the past 30 years. You know exactly who they are. They include many leaders of the Republican Party, almost the entire Democratic Party, and, by the way, a lot of our business leaders who, profited. Look, the problem is the middle class in the country became a minority in 2015. Nobody even noticed. It wasn't a news story, and yet it was the critical shift of my lifetime. You can't have a democracy in a country that doesn't have a middle class majority, and nobody cared.
And as he's redoing these trade agreements, as he's deciding not to get involved in conflicts, it's beginning to build up the middle class. What you saw yesterday in the morning that rocketed up everyone's 401ks was redoing NAFTA because manufacturing left. Workers no longer had a place to go. Now, yeah, we might pay a little bit more for automobiles, but now we're going to have a reason to build things again.
All that matters is that the average person in the country feels like he's vested in the system.
Or she.
I'm just using the grammatically correct pronunciation. But, yeah, I mean, it could be, of course, he is a stand-in. But the point is, he or she feels like my life is getting better, my effort is paying off, and my kids have a shot at a better life than I do. The average 22-year-old knows he or she is not going to make what his or her parents made. Like, that's a disaster. You have to fix that.
But, Coach, you say the Liberal Party, the Democratic Party has changed. You're not criticizing Democrats. You're saying what you see now on the left really concerns you because it's different than anything you've seen before.
Well, it's terrifying. I grew up around liberals in California and Washington, D.C., and they believed in free speech and due process and colorblindness. You're seeing these exact same people crush speech, deny due process, and tell us that the most important thing about people is their DNA and their skin color. It's a mirror image of the way they were. It's terrifying and Orwellian, and it's a threat to all of us, liberal and conservative. And we should honestly speak up every time they challenge those basic American values.
Tucker, you live in the D.C. area, raised all your kids in that area.
Yes.
And Brett Kavanaugh, let's talk about him now, because we've gone from these women who are accusing him of sexual assault and then not having any evidence to now them looking at questioning his friends at parties, at bars. One guy says he had ice thrown on him by Brett Kavanaugh. This is the headline in the New York Times this morning. Kavanaugh was questioned by police after bar fight in 1985. They're going back to the 80s.
Right,
I wish they'd told me that. I never would have supported him. He was questioned by police in 1985 for throwing ice on somebody. It's over, man. By the way, this is the problem with so much of our coverage and so much of the way we think about things. No self-awareness at all. If you're the guy writing the headline, Kavanaugh questioned by police 1985 over bar fight, at some point a normal person would say, what am I doing with my life? Did I just really write a headline that's stupid and irrelevant? I'm quitting and I'm going to sell insurance because this is just too dumb.
But it is true. He was questioned over a bar fight in 1985.
Yeah, so was I. so what? I mean, like, what is this?
Right, but the headline is, it was ice he threw.
It was ice he threw. I mean, again, if you're writing that story, does part of you think, is this why I got into journalism? To carry water for a political party, to be a propagandist, to write something so stupid that I can't look in the mirror without self-loathing? Like, honestly?
But don't you know the answer to that question?
No, people never pause to ask, what am I doing with my life?
But the whole thing is, I think this story more than any other, they're actually talking about a woman who's 50, talking about 10th grade, a man who's in 12th grade, and both can't reconstruct the scenes. Then they go to the freshman year in Yale, and the main accuser says, I drank so much, I didn't remember. I needed a week to remember it was Brett Kavanaugh or not.
I had to ask people.
And had the New York Times walked away from that story. But that could sink a Supreme Court justice.
But do
you understand that?
Democrats don't control the Senate, actually, the last I checked. And Republicans, if I could levy one criticism of them, it's they're way too literal. They play along with this. It's Lucy and the football. The Democrats are acting in utterly bad faith. Every person who's watching this carefully knows that. And yet Republicans are like responding to each one. Well, I'm not sure it really... And it's like, no. Shh. This is not serious. The guy's a sitting federal judge. He's issued scores of opinions.
309.
Thank you. If you disagree with the reasoning in those or his constitutional analysis, tell me so. Don't tell me a single word about his college drinking. It's stupid, it's irrelevant, and I'm not playing along. That's what Republican senators ought to be saying.
Well, the Republican senators do not do what the Democrat senators do, which is stick together.
Exactly.
The Republicans, you've got 3 or 4. Man, no.
But you know what they're not doing? And this is what troubles me, and this is what my book is about. They're not protecting their own voters. Democrats wake up and they're like, we're representing people who voted for us because they want something specific, in their case, power. Mm-hmm. Republicans are representing people who are reviled by almost everyone who actually has power. They're hated. The middle class is hated. And they're not standing up for and defending their own people. What is that? And by people, by the way, I'm talking about a socioeconomic class. I'm not talking about an ethnic group or immigrants versus non-immigrants, any of that identity politics garbage. I'm talking about people in the center of our economy. And those people are hated by everyone in Hollywood and everyone in finance, and the Republicans should be their protectors, and they're not.
All right. The brand new book comes out today, Ship of Fools. Tucker Carlson, thank you very much. Good to have you back on the couch.
You spun me up, man. I'm going.
Yeah, I'll see you on the radio, but are you going to do the show from New York?
Yeah, all week.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. It's the Big Apple, man. 8 million people, 8 million stories. I love it here.
Do you miss us?
Every single, I mean, you particularly, but also your friends.
Yeah.
These two.
You're such a liar.
That she is definitely the favorite,
You
according
get to
to
sleep
Tucker.
in.
We'll see you tonight, live from New York, Tucker.
You're doing great. Congratulations on your success.